This is the recipe. Can't see, it's too bright, I guess. But it calls for 2 cups active sourdough starter, which I've got in the bowl, 1/4 cup cooking oil, 2 cups all-purpose flour, which is here, a tablespoon of baking powder, which is optional, I'm not using it, 3 tablespoons of white sugar, teaspoon of salt. And it says add dry stuff to wet stuff. I'm going to use this enamel coated metal bowl to mix it in. And then I'll have to get a board out and knead it. This is basically, I guess, a sourdough bread. It's just made into biscuits. Last time I tried kneading anything, I had to have help, so I might have to have Mom help me on this too, but we'll see how it goes. That one needed to be kneaded for 8 minutes, and I only managed 2 before I had to get help. Okay, I'm going to rinse this and go back to the oil. I added the oil without you, but that's in now. I'm going to add the dry ingredients, and for that I'm just going to use a wooden spoon to mix those in. I'm just going to put them all in and then mix. Something was in the salt there. Still mixing this. I just rinsed the bowl from the sourdough and the oil. It says to lay out on a work surface and knead it. I want to get it mixed first. I probably should have done it on the surface. It would have worked fine. Just adding the sourdough and the oil to the flour on the surface, but I didn't do that. Looks like I've got everything incorporated. Now I'm going to knead it. So I'm going to move over to the counter beside the sink instead of on the stove. So just a bit. Okay, the recipe says knead and work up dough. Add a little water or flour to get it right. Dough balls should not be sticky feeling. I might need to add a little more water. It's a little dry feeling, but let's see how it kneads. Finish getting all the flour incorporated in. Oh, it's feeling better as it works in. Now it says to let the dough rest for 10 minutes. So I'm gonna put it back in the bowl for that. And there we go. Cover that with a dishcloth just because it's how Mom always made bread and how I've always made it. I'll be back in about 10 minutes. The recipe says to pinch off golf ball size pieces and put them in a 12-inch cast iron skillet. I don't have a 12-inch cast iron skillet, and we're doing this in the oven instead of on a fire. So using a 9 1/4 and an 8-inch cast iron skillet instead of the Dutch oven. And that should be about the same equivalent. The picture on the recipe shows 18 dough balls. Let's see how many I can get on. Well, that's 6, and that pan's almost full. I might have to end up doing another pan or something different. Just had a thought. Might as well do that now. Remembered that Mom had this cast iron pizza pan, so I'm going to use it because I wouldn't get everything in the skillets. They're just not big enough, being the smaller pans. I'm not going to go into the care of the cast iron at this point. It's my favorite pan is a cast iron pan. The only problem is they are heavy. If you get a bigger one, make sure you have one with a handle on the opposite side so you can do it two-handed when you're lifting it. These are getting bigger, I think. It says that after I'm done with this, I need to let them rise in a warm place. It says without baking powder, a little over an hour to rise. Said I should have kneaded it a little bit longer too, but I didn't do that. It's just, oh well, we'll see how they come together. There's that. I'm going to set these somewhere warm. Well, I've got the counter wiped down. I'm doing some updates on my tablet because I haven't used it in ages. But this is the next project. I need to do the dishes after playing in Mom's kitchen. Can't leave a mess. Thanks for watching Perhaps Cooking. Feel free to share, give me a thumbs up, or subscribe.